Hi, I'm Anthony Originello, CEO of the Chartered Professionals in Human Resources for BC and Yukon. We represent more than 8,000 members, and as the organization dedicated to advancing the HR profession through education, advocacy, awareness, professional development, as well as our recognized and impactful CPHR designation, we are proud to be a sponsor of this show. We have been the voice of the HR profession since 1942. Learn more about us at cphrbc.ca.
In this edition of Careers That Matter, I am joined by Jason McDaniel, who is the President and CEO of the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. Jason, welcome.
Thank you very much, Stu.
What exactly does your job look like? What responsibilities do you have?
Well, we have over 5,500 employees. We have about $18 billion in reserves and capital that we oversee, and we provide services around the province from insurance to claims to driver licensing to road safety. So my job is a diverse one, I would say, but one of the things we've really committed to is a big part of my job is getting out across the province. You know, we don't serve just the Lower Mainland, and the issues and challenges are regional. So since I moved into this seat, travel around our beautiful province has become a big part of my day as well.
So what are your major responsibilities? The financial well-being of the corporation, or the public relations side of it, or the management of your teams that carry out the work?
Well, look, I mean, I think no surprise to anyone that the affordability of our product, if British Columbians had a hierarchy of needs from ICBC, it would start with affordability. So the things we're doing to make sure we're spending British Columbians' money wisely, so the oversight of both how we operate and how we assess and manage claims is a huge part of what I oversee. Luckily, an organization of our size, lots of really smart, capable people doing the day-to-day across all of those things, and I get to the privilege of being the point of connection for them. So a lot of meetings were on those things, but telling the story of our organization and listening to people's experience with us, also a really big part of how I spend my time.
So, how many people report to you directly? You said there's 5,500 employees, but the actual team that reports to you directly?
Yeah, 7 executive vice presidents.
Reasonably lean.
We are a very lean organization. I can tell you that we are about 8 to 1 from staff to leaders, top to bottom in our organization. Operating expense ratio way better than private insurers. So lean for sure. 7 VPs across all of that portfolio. Everybody has multiple accountabilities within that structure, and but it's actually I'm really lucky. It's a team that's been around a while that really knows each other, knows the company.
This is one of those questions people go, okay, that's a lot of responsibility. How much of your time in a week from 24/7 is your mind occupied with your job?
Too much. Turning it off is sometimes a challenge, but it's not in a bad, but I say that laughing, but I think what we do matters, and I think what we do is really interesting, and so it is a positive energy and a positive focus on it, but it can be hard to turn it off sometimes, and stuff happens 24/7 around the province that can impact our business, and so it's always happening.
So does that mean that you have to be on call? Like, are you able to portion out parts of the day and the week that you go, no, this is personal time, but even still you got to be on call?
You don't have to be on call always, but it's not like some businesses are the heaviest on the weekends in the middle of the night. That's not true for us for the most part, but if things I'm even reluctant to say, but if there was a cyber issue or a big mass tragedy event, then someone would call me when those things happen, and we would start talking about what to do next.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of your career.
Yeah.
You graduated from high school. Where'd you go to high school?
I grew up in Toronto.
So grade 13 you went?
I was in the cusp year where you could do grade 13, or they called it OAC. But yeah, I did the grade 13 year essentially. Yeah.
And when you're leaving school, high
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
did you say, yeah, I know what I want to do X number of years from now? I want to head a insurance corporation in British Columbia. Did you have any idea what you wanted to do? And the reason I ask that is that we got a lot of young people who are going, well, that's an interesting job. Did I have to know when I was younger that that's what I wanted to do and march towards it? Or did your career unfold in ways that led you to here?
Absolutely the latter. So no, I did not have aspirations as a kid to be the head of a large public auto insurer, but or even a CEO though, for that matter. I think my development, I have moved forward in my career, and new opportunities and new ideas have come to light. I did not have a straight line path that I was aware of as a high school student.
But you did choose to go to university.
I did.
And study? What did you study?
Well, it's funny you say that, but I'm first generation university student in my family.
In your family?
In my family. So first one to go. And I went to York University. Before, I have a law degree ultimately, but my undergrad I went to York University, economics and, funny enough, labor studies as my majors as a young man. Yeah.
And how did that wind up pushing you into law?
Well, the first
nudging you towards
it.
it.
The first place it pushed me was a working holiday visa in England, and then to a couple of years teaching English in South Korea. Then law school. So I explored some other opportunities, got to travel, and law was always in the back of my mind. And as that came to an end, I applied to law school straight from my time in Korea. Took my LSATs while I was there and went straight to UVic for law school.
Oh, University of Victoria.
Indeed, yeah.
So you graduate, did you start to practice? And what kind of law was that?
Yeah, I graduated and started practicing at a law firm downtown in Vancouver. Litigation. So it was a litigation boutique firm. So all all courtroom kind of stuff. Funny enough, ICBC ended up becoming one of my clients, and so I did a bunch of work on things like fraud and bad faith, sort of certain specific type of work at the law firm, which made an easy transition to be a member of the in-house legal team a few years
So that
later.
led to an invitation to join in-house.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I applied for the job, but yeah. For sure, I worked. My clients were the in-house lawyers when I was in private practice.
Yeah.
And it was something I thought I would come and do for a couple of years. I had a couple of young children at home, and that was 2006.
Wow. And what were the steps along the way that led you up to the top of the executive office?
I've been really lucky, but also, with some intentionality, which is I've had about 8 or 9 jobs in the 20 years since I started at ICBC in 2006.
Were some of them you sort of go, okay, this is a stretch. I'm going in a new direction here?
Almost all of them,
to
be honest. Every job I took on, I had to go home first at night and say, geez, I don't know anything about how to do that job. But it's something that the ramp-up speed is always faster than you think. And so, I ended up moving up through the law ranks in the organization, but then started moving sideways to do operational type leadership, leading the claims material damage team. I led the driver licensing group for a while, and so I was able to make moves I had never anticipated would happen in my career. Opportunities arose, and each one was a hard problem. That if you figured it out, you would be doing something hard and something good for the people in the province.
So what do you think gave you the confidence to take on some of these challenges that, as you say, were a step sideways?
Yeah, well, I think at some point I came to the realization after, first being scared and intimidated sometimes by things that, one, that what I can do today is not the same as my potential. And two, those that are much better at me at something that what seems like years and years of knowledge can sometimes be done in 3 to 6 months. And in a sense, getting thrown into a couple of these opportunities, where I went home, on week 1 and, told my wife, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know why they hired me. But then 3 months in, saying, I got this. It's the repetition. You do that a couple times, and then you figure the same will be true for the next job. And so far, so good.
Isn't that a wonderful thing to discover about yourself, that I can figure this out?
Yeah. And you know what, Stu, I think as well, when you also realize, like, I don't always have it figured out yet. Mm-hmm. So, and that's okay. That is not a reflection of who I am or my potential. It's just where I'm at now. So being able to lean in on the fact that I'm not great at this today doesn't mean I can't be great at this. Is been a big part of that as well.
Well, thanks for giving us a little insight into your current job and your path to it. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.